Just go up here and then... Wait, where's this guy? Oh, hello. You're dead. Alright, so hello gamers and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the new meta guns of Phantom Forces, so make sure to subscribe if you have not, and let's go for 1,000 likes on this video. Our first gun is actually going to be going to the AUG A1. Now the AUG A1 got a very interesting buff in this update. It got a tiny bit less range, and I'm talking like 5 studs less, and now it does 24 minimum damage. That's more than the nerfed G36. That's insane minimum damage. The AUG A1 used to do a respectable 23, and the G36 used to do 25, but now the G36 does 23, and this does 24. So it can almost 4-hit kill at any range. With one headshot, you can easily do that, and it has like 180 stud min range. It also has very high velocity, and most importantly, it has absolutely zero recoil. The AUG A1 is now an extremely competitive assault rifle after this buff. It was already really good, but this plus the 9mm conversion, getting a bit of a rework and kind of a nerf, makes this definitely the gun to use. In fact, it's probably one of the best assault rifles in the entire game. It fires really quickly, it just has amazing recoil, and the damage is pretty good even in close range as well. The Scar L is honestly not even worth it anymore because of the AUG A1 buff. Scar L has a 4-hit kill any range, but this has more RPM by quite a bit and does about the same min damage. Of course, it can't 4-shot limb, but it can very easily 4-shot with one headshot, and it just fires so much faster, and the range is good. This is just amazing. It's a 5 out of 5 assault rifle now, and it's a little bit too good, I'm not gonna lie. I think they should probably just revert this. I don't know why the AUG A1 got a buff. It was already really good. I'm just gonna reset my character because I don't think I can die with this gun. That's how broken it is. Next up, of course, we have the M16A1. If you guys want to see the other new gun, which is the Colt Mars, maybe go check out my other video talking about all the new guns ranked, because there's not just 2 new guns, there's actually quite a few new guns that were added via conversions and things. And since I already talked about this in my last video, I won't really go into it too far. But yeah, this is a very, very fast firing assault rifle with a fast reload time and a lot of really good stats. So go watch my previous video after this video if you guys want to see it more on why this is so good. Very much a new meta gun, fires really quickly and doesn't really fall off as hard as like a PDW, which is really cool. And I really love the gun. It does have a conversion, which I don't like as much, but it's probably going to be the new meta conversion on the gun, so go check that out if you want to see what that does. But yeah, next up we have the Howa Type 20, and this gun is basically like AUG A1, but even better. It has better velocity, better pen, not necessarily as good recoil or RPM, but what it does have is amazing damage. It can 2-shot to the head, it can 3-shot to the body. The AUG A1 can do neither of those, and it can 4-shot torso all ranges. Well, I'd say the AUG A1 is maybe on par with this, because of course the AUG A1 has a couple of advantages, so I guess you could say they are balanced, but I'm not gonna lie. The Type 20, after getting its torso multiplier buffed, is a little bit too good. It's going to 4-hit kill at any range basically every single time, and it can 2-shot up close, has really low recoil, lots of different ammo attachments, like it has a 40-round mag and a drum mag. It's powerful, and it's super low rank as well. A lot of the new guns that are kind of meta are lower rank assault rifles, which is pretty cool. But next up we have the AUG A3. This is like the AUG A1, but more for CQC. It fires a little bit faster, but not like a ton faster, but it can actually 3-shot kill up close, and it's still a 5-hit kill at range, but doesn't have as great of a 4-hit kill range, and it also does 21 min, so it's not always going to be like a 4-hit kill at any range, but it can 3-shot kill in close range, and it has 720 RPM, pretty fast reload, and it lasers people. This is also an amazing gun. I don't know why it got a buff. It probably needed a buff less than the AUG A1, and the AUG A1 was already really good, so it's going to be incredible. This gun is going to be just way too good. Probably better than the AUG A1, but you can use the AUG A1 if you like more long-range guns. This is probably the AUG that needed a buff the least, in my opinion. They did buff the AUG A2 as well, but because this has a 3-shot kill, the AUG A2 isn't really as good. It has a better 3-hit kill range, but it falls off a little bit harder over range, and it just seems to be a little bit less accurate and doesn't fire as quickly. So the AUG A2 could also be meta, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the AUG A3 is going to be the new meta gun. It's already a pretty popular gun, and definitely of the A1, A2, A3, it's probably the most popular, unless you count like low ranks using the AUG A1, but people who have all the AUGs, they're probably gonna be using this one because it just, you know, fires the quickest. And before it was a 4-5, and the AUG A1 was also a 4-5, but the AUG A1 had like better range, while this had more RPM and stuff, so people kind of preferred this one, and I was one of those people. I already really liked the gun. I already have like 800 kills on it or something. Now it's just like incredible. It is so accurate. It does really good damage. It has good range, good velocity, and most of all, it just has no recoil. I don't understand. There's so many no recoil assault rifles now that are getting a buff, and a lot of the other guns are getting a nerf that, you know, some of them do deserve a nerf. But some of these guns that got a buff in this update, no fault of the current developer, they were actually changed by the previous one. I just don't know why it made it to the main game. It just doesn't make any sense. And it sucks because these are way too meta, and they're definitely going to be getting nerfs pretty soon, right? So I guess use them while you still can. They're definitely going to be the current meta and hopefully get a nerf because they're just too good. I don't even know what to tell you guys. Like, this gun is just too good. Well, once again, I probably got to reset my character because I don't think I can be killed with this gun. Wait, where's this guy? Oh, hello. you're dead. C72 is still probably going to be meta, but like that's not the new meta, so I'm not really going to talk about that one. AK-109 is also really good now, but that was already really good, so not a new meta. Next up, we have PDWs, not the Colt Mars. The Colt Mars is not very good in my opinion. Some people might like it, but not me. Honestly, even though it got a nerf, the Chris Vector is going from definitely my favorite and still pretty popular to probably the best PDW in the game for the fast-firing one, simply because it's just as accurate. Unlike the Colt SMG, which got a nerf and can no longer 3-shot, this can still 3-shot kill to the body. This makes it extremely powerful, except it's slightly less powerful than before, of course, but it's still basically the same gun. Now it falls off harder over range. It's going to be a 7-hit kill at long range. But the thing is, I'm not even saying that this is like, oh, well, don't use it for long range. It's a close range gun. No, you can use it for long range because you can actually beam people. Here's the thing. I used to use 45 Super. I just took it off because, you know, it doesn't do as well over range now. And because it got a little bit less CQC damage, the Chris Vector with 45 Super can no longer 2-shot headshot. So it is technically a worse gun. But the thing about it is that the Chris Vector, it doesn't really have a lot of recoil. If you get a good setup and you can pull down, this thing can laser people over basically any range. So yeah, it is a worse gun, but since the other meta PDWs have been completely nerfed into the ground, this is going to be the good one, you know? It should just have like less velocity and more recoil or something, you know, not necessarily less damage, because I feel like it should be a hard-hitting PDW. Not super hard-hitting, of course, not a 2-shot headshot, but 34 makes sense. It's a 45 ACP gun. And because of Super V, it should probably have like only horizontal recoil, because that's how the recoil in real life would work. Right now, it's kind of like weird recoil where it goes up, and it actually has like quite a bit of recoil to it, but not really, because the recoil in this game is really weird for like high vertical recoil guns, where yes, they technically have a lot of recoil, but after like the first few shots, they actually stop going up, and then you can just shoot people, you know? Okay, I'm going 65 and 14 right now, and a lot of my deaths have been F5ing, like literally just leaving the game basically. And honestly, that's the PDW meta right now. It's just going to be the Chris Vector. Next up, we have the LMG meta, which might actually go to the MG36, because it has its 300 conversion back to having 100 rounds again, which means you can 3-shot with 100 bullets, which is pretty good. If you basically just want like 100 bullet 3-shot gun with a lot of RPM, it's really good. If you're not that good, probably one of the best guns in the entire game to use at this point. Like I said, falls off kind of harder over range now than it used to, but it is a very powerful gun. The other meta gun that might be kind of back is the M60. It now does a little bit less damage, but it fires quicker, and I really like that instead. Fortnite Alex just killed me nice. There is an interesting new DMR and sniper rifle. I'll talk about the DMR first, and this is the VSS with 7.62. This used to be a semi-auto conversion, and now it's basically just another meta assault rifle. It fires pretty quickly, it does really good damage, and it's actually super accurate for 7.62. It does 38 to 24. It can almost 4-hit kill all ranges, 2-shot headshot to like 70 studs, 3-shot body to like 80 studs or something. It doesn't have the best velocity or anything, but it's pretty good, and it fires pretty quickly as well. This gun is amazing. Actually, like one of the best guns in the game. It's honestly pretty similar to 9x39 on the AK-12C, except that does a little bit more overall damage, but it has the same fire rate, it has a faster reload, but this has better recoil, so it's really just what you want. I kind of prefer the 9x39 AK-12C because that just feels like a little bit more interesting and fun, but this is probably a better gun because it's more accurate. This has really, it's too good. It has too much accuracy. I don't know why it's so accurate. It doesn't make any sense that 7.62 on this gun in particular would be so accurate. It's firing like AK-47, AKM, AK-103, all those bullets, the Groza. It's so much more accurate than any of those guns. It makes no sense. This went from like a really awful conversion to a very good conversion. I just say like give it more recoil. That's it. It just needs more recoil. It's too accurate. So accurate. It's just so accurate. There's been a ton of new like meta no recoil guns this update. They've only been nerfing like kind of the outlier guns that are really, really good at one thing, have a lot of recoil, you know, like Colt SMG and stuff, and Vector and those kind of guns, Mac 10. But for some reason, they buffed a lot of those like in between really decent overall guns that didn't really need a buff. And it kind of feels like they were rebalancing them for the sake of just changing stuff, which is of course the previous dev's fault and not the current one. So don't like hate on the current dev. The only thing I could say I did that's kind of bad is release this update without like, you know, vetting it a little bit more, because there's been some really stupid stuff that has been added in this update, including this. I'd say this is a little bit too good. Nope. There's a meta carbine, and I'll talk about that one in just a second, but the meta sniper rifle from this update is definitely the K14. The K14 is a little bit different now. If you used it before, it might not be your favorite. It does have a conversion to make it a little bit more like the older version, kind of, but you only have a 5-round mag, but I really like the new version. The new version of it, basically you get a slight torso kill range of about 40 studs, which is not really too bad, but it's not great at all. But instead of like a kind of generic rate of fire of like 55, you now have 70 rate of fire. That's as much as the Mosin, but it can one-shot torso. actually, this is kind of like a Mosin Extendamag by default. The pen, the handling, and stuff like that isn't as good, but it can one-shot to the torso, so it's significantly better, especially for people like me who aren't always going to be hitting head. I like guns like the Scout, but like I'm not going to be as good with those guns, you know, because I'm not going to hit the head except there. So this is actually like an amazing sniper rifle now. Still 2 shots all ranges, anywhere on the body, and overall, except for like half of the torso killing range, this is just a better gun, but it just doesn't one-shot as far to the body, but like it just fires so much faster, and I significantly prefer that, you know? Ooh. That hit marker? A meta of the carbines will now definitely be going to the C8A2 because now it reloads in 1.4 seconds. That's very fast. Basically, before it had like the HK416 reload, but then they gave it like the normal reload, which makes it reload a lot faster. You go from a 2.2, which is really not good at all, that's the HK416 reload, down to 1.4. So you get better pen velocity, a little bit more recoil, but better headshot damage, allowing you to 2-shot to the head, and you get a 0.8 second faster reload time. I don't understand. I don't know how this got added to the game, but it did, and now the C8A2 will finally be really good. I'm not actually like too opposed to this gun. A lot of people like hated it. I thought it was like kind of meh, not that great, but now it will be amazing, and I almost kind of want to keep it this way. But the problem is you need 20 tact to get it to be meta, which means that the 7.62, 223, any of the other ammo types, I kind of preferred 20 tact, so it's not like a big problem for me. But the thing is, you have to be running 20 tact, otherwise you have the 2.2 second reload time, which is really not good. 2.2 seconds is slower than like the M16A3. This is a carbine. It's supposed to be for close range. You're not going to want to have a pretty slow reload time. So overall, is this a great change? Honestly, I don't even think it was intentional. It probably wasn't. I don't see why it would be intentional to give a gun a 0.8 second faster reload time, but here we are. It has faster reload time, and guns that to begin with, without 20 tact, had a faster reload time than this gun. Like for example, M4A1, right? By default, 2 seconds down to 1.7. So you have a 0.3 second faster reload. That's pretty good. But this one is 2.2 down to 1.4. So it starts at more and it ends at less. It doesn't make any sense. Scorpion with Rat Shot is new and pretty good. Might be meta, but I'm not sure. I guess the only new buff that's really crazy has been the suppressed macro. This gun falls off extremely hard over range, but as you might know, in very close range, it can 2-shot body, 1-shot headshot. It's a really good gun because it's kind of like GIM1, except with less recoil, higher rate of fire, and it can have an 80-round magazine, and it's also very, very quiet. It falls off super hard over range though, and I prefer the GIM1, which does 34 over range instead of 19. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, have a nice day. I was talking really quick there.